Breaking: Peter Obi's lawyers to take action against Inec chairman over deliberate refusal to allow inspection of election materials. Yeah, the court has said that Labour Party is at liberty to inspect the election material. Why is Inec chairman refusing that? Because he has shared his conscience with hot iron and been manipulated by the political class he's working for. Okay, so he blatantly refused to allow Labour Party lawyers, team of lawyers, to inspect the materials. There is a concerted effort to frustrate the Labour Party and the PDP from getting the evidence, because Labour Party is a major threat. Yeah. So now the lawyers, Labour Party lawyers, are now going to take action against the next chairman. They can't let them go ahead and do that, because this is getting too much. The impunity of not obeying court order is just getting too much, getting to the roof. The legal team of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, had vowed to take legal action against the Independent National Electoral Commission over deliberate refusal to allow his client to inspect presidential election materials in line with the orders of the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal had issued an order allowing Obi, the Labour Party, as well as People Democratic Party to inspect materials used for the February 25 presidential election, which Inec declared was won by Bola Tinubu of All Progressive Congress. Inec on March 6 filed a motion on notice praying the court to vary the order to enable the commission to reconfigure accreditation machines used for the election to enable their use for the forthcoming governorship and state House of Assembly elections. The appellate court, in its discretion, allowed Inec to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVS), but dismissed its application, saying that its earlier orders granting Obi access to electoral materials stands. Inec, in apparent reaction to the ruling stated, "We wish to reiterate that the Commission is not against litigants inspecting election materials. Consequently, it will continue to grant all litigants access to the materials they require to pursue their cases in court." They just say it on face value, but they don't obey it. They don't do what they say. That is the problem. Now they are promised to obey the court law, but they are not going to court order, but they are not going to allow it. That is what is happening. But a member of Obi's legal team, Alex, a JCM's son, told the Whistler in a phone interview on Saturday that the electoral umpire has not granted them access to election materials. Well, we have written to them, Inec. We have done everything possible that they have refused. Okay, and they have refused to allow us to inspect. So we are going to review our position this weekend, and by Monday, we will know the next thing to do, the lawyer said. He accused Inec of deliberately trying to delay Obi's legal team from instituting a petition against the presidential election as prescribed by the Electoral Act, adding that the electoral umpire knows that assessing the election materials will expose alleged ballot rigging in the election. That is true. Yes, you know, what they are doing is deliberate. Ordinarily, the proper thing for us to do is to commence committal proceedings against the Inec chairman and the officers involved. But remember, by the Electoral Act 2022, we are supposed to file a petition. So what they are trying to do is to divert attention. JCM said, adding, "We will take steps to mount pressure on them to allow us to have copies of the electoral materials in line with the order of the Court of Appeal." That's right. The Whistler reports that while collation of presidential results were ongoing on February 26, the Labour Party, PDP, and the Action Democratic Congress had boycotted the event and called for cancellation of the election. International observers from the European Union also accused Inec of lack of transparency due to its failure to immediately transmit results electronically through polling units to its public result viewing portal. Regarding access to election documents, The wasteland reports that Section 74 of the Electoral Act of 2022 reads as follows. 74, subsection 1. The resident electoral commissioner in a state where an election is conducted shall, within 14 days after an election application is made to him by any of the parties to an election petition, cause a certified true copy of such document to be issued to the said party. 2. Any residential electoral commissioner who willfully fails to comply with the provisions in subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a maximum fine of 2 million naira or imprisonment for a term of 12 months or both. You see? So the truth here, we know that Nigeria has, that the Inec has violated the electoral laws 100% from A to Z. They refuse to obey court orders. They refuse to apply the electoral law and the Inec guidelines. The guidelines Inec themselves instituted to help run the elections smoothly, they violated their own guidelines. That's how bad it is. Yeah? Just because they are working by the dictates of their paymasters. Yeah? It's quite unfortunate that Mahmoud Yakubu no longer have conscience. No longer have conscience. This is terrible. This is happening before our very eyes, and we are continuing to see this happening. It's quite unfortunate. Really, really, really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. So the Labour Party lawyers that say that with the INEC blatant refusal or to allow them see or have access to the electoral materials will require some legal actions. So they said over the weekend, which is this weekend, they will, review the process again and know the next line of action by Monday, what they're going to do to INEC to continue to put pressure on them to allow them have access to the electoral materials. I just hope that they succeed, because what INEC is doing is a concerted effort between INEC and the APC and the Buhari government to frustrate Labour Party and PDP from getting their case through with genuine evidence. Just like what this lawyer is saying, Labour Party lawyers are saying that why INEC is doing that is because they know that by the time they grant access to the electoral materials, all the fraudulent acts that they did for pronouncing Tinubu winner will be exposed. And even the INEC chairman and his workers will also be exposed. That is why they don't want the legal team to have access to those materials. They know the materials are there. And the worst of all is that they've done dirty job that is not aligned, that is not coherent. What people are going to see that they've uploaded will be different from the numbers that they have pronounced. That is the truth. And they don't know how they're going to cover all of that up. So they are jittery, they are scared. And so they are doing everything to stop the investigation or to prevent the investigation team from having access to evidences and exhibits that will be used in the court of law to buttress their case. Quite unfortunate. So now Labour Party is considering taking a legal action against INEC chairman and the INEC itself. I think it's a very good step. Let them summon them for violating the Court of Appeal order, granting Labour Party, PDP access to election material to get their point. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.